1039 FASFM 733, and it's time to check in with our life coach, Lorraine Esposito. Good morning, Lorraine.
Good morning.
Happy Wednesday to you.
Uh-huh.
It's hump day, right? We're halfway through the week.
Yes, sir, halfway through, and I've got a great topic for you. Here's my idea. You know, great advice is all around us. We get it from books, we get it from TV, and we get it from other people, whether we ask for it or not sometimes. And much of the advice sounds pretty good until, that is, we start getting into the details of that advice. So what do you think I mean by that, the details of the advice?
Well, when somebody has some advice for you, and then probably they're sort of steering you to their point of view or something that they'd like to see happen, so they kind of throw in little tidbits when they give you advice, hopefully that you'll kind of conform to what they're looking for, maybe?
Isn't that so good? Tom, that's so good, because that's like a really open question. It's almost unfair that I ask them that way. I know.
and you know what? It also shows that I just believe that when people try to help you out, they have surreptitious motives half the time.
Well,
No, not all the time. No, just some of the time.
Well, and maybe, maybe you're right a lot of the time. But the part that I'm thinking about is that you have it correct, that it's coming from their point of view. So these details, they are the how-to kind of steps that turn their good advice into something that could be usable. And that's when it gets very tricky. So when someone starts out saying, if I were you, that's an indication that the details of this good advice may only really fit them, because the details are likely to play to their strengths and their priorities and their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the catch?
I do. And that's one of the things about, you get the easy out when somebody gives you advice is you always say, well, the good thing about advice is you can listen to it, but you don't necessarily have to take it. And
yes.
That's where you have to draw your own distinction there.
That's awesome. And that's just exactly the point of this motivational moment, that unless you are this person with these skills and priorities and you have lived the experiences that they've lived, you're probably going to have a hard time with those details. And that's why I say that the value of any advice that starts out with, if I were you, may need to be discounted by half. The general idea may be great, maybe, okay, but the details are probably not going to be a good fit for you. So you have to cut that good advice in half.
And then you have to do it really quickly, too, so that you can give it a response. You can give them a response so that it doesn't appear that you're just totally dismissing them.
Well, that's a whole nother motivational moment. How to communicate well and authentically and decline invitations graciously.
There is a skill to that, that's for sure.
Oh, it's an enormous skill. Oh, my gosh. And it is one of those very foundational skills, because people will make offers to you all the time. So first you have to know how to evaluate the offer, and then you have to know how to respond to whatever that offer is going to mean to you in a way that keeps offers flowing in.
One thing that I was thinking of sometimes, a lot of times, rather than saying, if I were you, just go right into the advice. That way you haven't already biased the advice that you're going to be giving somebody. Yes.
And if somebody's asked you for advice and you have a particular thought, you could even go one step further and turn it around as a question. So what have you thought about this? If there's something you want them to think about, just asking it as a question, that does two things. First, it tells the person that you respect them and that you're not going to lay your stuff on them. And two, it almost says that you acknowledge they're smart people and they may have already thought of it.
And I'm almost thinking that it makes it seem as if the answer is coming from them, or, if you feel like the answer is coming from you, you actually like it a little bit better sometimes.
Well, then that advice isn't, if I were you, it would be, if I were me. Right? And then it fits really good.
That is true.
There you go.
All righty. Lorraine Esposito, our life coach. Where do we find you?
PeacemakerCoach.com, and also at the Center for Coaching Mastery at Westchester Community College, the Life Coach Training and Certification Program.
All right, and you're back with Jolana on Friday.
Looking forward to it. It was great seeing you, Tom.
Enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.
All righty, Lorraine Esposito, our life coach, 1039 FASFM.